At this point, we just need to break up or hook up.
Oh, really? But when everybody else was talking about exploring sexual compatibility in order to make a sound decision, you said everybody was childish. Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Queenie. For those who don't know me, reviewing Married at First Sight Season 20, Episode 16. Before I get into it, please make sure to like this video, subscribe and hit the bell, and leave a comment down below. We pick up with Adam, who is very irritated at the fact that Shawn called him out at the dinner table. Listen, it might be the wrong messenger, but it's the right message. It surely is the right message. Shawn does admit that he was trying to poke the bear, which was quite evident because you don't have to say, well, do your parents talk like that? Like, you're obviously trying to piss somebody off. However, the sentiment rings true. And even the experts were like, and you know, sometimes the experts, I'm going to be so real. Like, I be with y'all, but I don't be with y'all. But right now I'm with y'all. They also feel like Adam is unable to properly express how he feels about Marissa. Even his lack of curiosity about her would show that maybe he doesn't feel much for her. So he has to use these simplified words because there aren't words to express what's going on. The words probably would be, I don't really like you like that, but you know, for the sake of being on the show for as long as possible, I'm just gonna vibe with you. We're just gonna kick it. We're gonna full send it. Oh my gosh. The experts early on were calling out his attempts to peacock in front of everybody and show himself as like the alpha male, the top dog in the room. And it seems like he has succeeded. It really seems like he has, because the way that everybody was so shocked that Shawn said what he said, I get it, unsavory, the way that he said it, but it's true nonetheless. And we've seen everybody question Adam. Maybe not everybody, but we've definitely heard it from Caitlyn. And Caitlyn was the one talking the most, like, oh, well, you're coming for his vocabulary and stuff like that. Girl, you too don't believe what's going on between Adam and Marissa. So anyways, child, everybody was so shocked. And I feel like that's because Adam has positioned himself as the alpha of the group. So how dare you come for Dada? You can't come for Dada. No way. Then with Felipe and Tori, he is annoyed that she did not come to his defense at the dinner table. He feels like he has made strides towards being a better person and she could have backed him up. And she's like, listen, you're asking for consideration, but the reality is when you could have considered me regarding how you wanted to navigate this marriage or maybe after the experiment and all that, you did not care for how I felt. So why would I care about how you feel?
I thought we were going to go in tonight more as a unit, but I did feel like it could have just been a little defensive for me.
You decided to voice your thoughts without talking to me.
Yep.
Did stick up for you even that night. You can only be considerate for so long without being considered.
I think a problem that these two experience is that they have candid conversations after the conflict. It's like they see something brewing and they only address it head on after they've come to blows. And I think that that has set them back for sure. I also do think that this was a mismatch from the beginning. So we could just start and stop there. But since they were trying to make it work, I think that Tori needed to be more honest about things instead of being agreeable oftentimes. And I think Felipe needed to be honest with himself and admit that he never wanted to be in this kind of commitment. And maybe he just wanted to come on the show. There were so many other shows he could have gone on, mind you, but he decided to go on the marriage show when he's not even convinced on marriage for himself. So yeah, that's odd. Even after they have these kind of conversations, I feel like they're not addressing whatever the root issue is. I feel the root issue is that they should not be together, but whatever they believe is the issue, I don't think they ever get to it, which leaves them having a chip on their shoulder even after the conflict, which just adds to more conflict in the future. I get that Felipe wants support, but Tori needs to see change. And you saying, well, in this very moment right now, as we speak, I do commit to you, is only proving the point that you're not somebody worth committing to long term. Belle is also feeling a way about what happened at the dinner party. She has an attitude, as she should, and Mecca is just confused. He has no idea what's going on.
You feeling some type of way, that's for sure.
Give me a fucking break. God damn. A man wouldn't say that to a woman that he cares for. And you're trying to force me to talk about it? I don't have to put up with this.
You need to stop being talked to. Yeah? Or not. Okay.
I'm so so glad that Belle is airing him and she's finally living in her truth, which is that she lets him get away with a lot of stuff. Like, I think there's so many more things that she had an issue with, but because they're so far into the process now and you just finished saying, yeah, we're going to say yes at the altar, and you still are able to speak to me cash crazy, I think she's like, okay, clearly I let too many things slide with this man. I need to show him that I'm not one to be played with. I think you've proven to him too many times now that you are one to be played with, unfortunately. I think Belle knows that he's just not the man for her. She likes him, and that's great, but he does not like her enough for her to be like, yeah, you're my person. And I think that, because I spoke about it a few episodes ago, that she stepped in kind of like a mother figure, and I think it might be because he's gone through so much and she feels like he needs a safe place to land, and she wanted to be that. And I get that, but holistically, he's not giving my man, in my opinion. I don't think this is the man that Belle needs, you know? Also, even if he was just operating from a place of trauma and she wanted to be there for him, I don't think it's her responsibility to heal him from what he's experienced. If you came into this process saying, hey, I want to get married, let's do the work to make sure you know how to show up the best way you can in a marriage. And I don't think that Mecca has done that. A few quick things happen here. Devon says that he and Caitlyn haven't even had a proper kiss since the honeymoon. I'm sorry. Even Shawn and Nikki have more play than that. Like, she hates him. I'm sorry. She hates it. This girl is then going to say, I just need to see more. You know, I need to be more emotionally invested. I need this, I need that in order to show up better in this relationship. This man is literally giving her the world. Anything Caitlyn wants, Devon provides. And it's still not enough. Girl, you hate this man. And I'm using that word facetiously, guys, please. Like, she don't like him. And I'm still so desperate to know why she's sticking around so bad. Like, girl, you don't want to be married? You definitely don't want to be married to this man. Anyway, speaking of not wanting to be married to that man, Nikki says that Shawn is, I have to be careful when I say this, a negger. E, not I. He's a negger. And he said to her, in Seattle, something I don't quite remember, but I feel like it was, in Seattle, you're a 10, but in New York, you'd be like a 7. Either like a 6 or a 7. And you're mid in every state. So what are we... Don't get me started on you, Shawn. Truly do not get me started on you. Like, please... I don't understand what is wrong with these men who say things that don't need to be said. Felipe, you don't need to say, oh, I miss sleeping with a whole lot of women. I love being a hoe. Mecca, you don't have to say, well, is she pretty enough for me? Shawn, you do not have to say, here you're a 10, but over there you're a 7. How is that relevant to me right now in this moment? If you are saying you want to be married to me, how does this add positively to our relationship? What is wrong with these men? So it gets bad to worse with Shawn and Nikki. Nikki wants to cook for this man. Now Nikki, it doesn't seem like she's the best cook. You know, she didn't really know how to make the mac and cheese. It is what it is, child. It's not everybody's forte. And you could be honest about that. She was being honest. She had to call her mother, and her mom was coaching her on the phone, and the food looked good to me. But after that, Shawn is like, yeah, the food was okay. It's better than terrible. And if I punch you, then what? I don't promote violence. I don't. But if I punch you, then what? Like, I'm still... He got to speak to her mom briefly, and the mom was keeping it cute on the phone, but basically she was like, we'll talk. We'll talk more. I don't think Nikki is staying, and right now she's just kind of placating Shawn at this point. That's my belief. I think that a part of her has definitely developed the fondness, which is what I was talking about earlier in the season. I think that the most she could get is being fond of him, and that's the ceiling. Child, all of a sudden, out of nowhere, maybe Mecca has a TBI, because he's saying that he has amnesia. He doesn't remember saying what Belle is claiming he said at the dinner party.
They're pretty snappy at each other, yeah?
I was in my head because it caught me off guard. Is she pretty enough for me? No.
Because I didn't say that. So you're saying...
Mecca, yes, you did.
I think I said to me. Nah, it had to be...
Verbatim.
It had to have been to me.
Okay.
It had to have been to me. Is she pretty enough for me? That's just disrespect. That's just rude.
I'm so glad. You know what? I'm happy these people came on the show because we get to see who you truly are alongside any other potential partners you may have. Get to see how you are moving because we saw you say that in 4K. And if it wasn't recorded, he probably could gaslight her out of remembering it correctly. She would have been questioning her reality, and with enough convincing and with enough time passing, she probably would have misremembering, obviously, things the way that he's depicting it rather than how she actually experienced it. Ain't that crazy? So now he's like, oh yeah, it is jogging my memory. And you know what? I'm just so disappointed in myself. Deal with that disappointment on your own. I'm so sorry. Like, I don't understand why we're supposed to be rooting for a couple where one person is actively trying to destroy the relationship. Everybody's got some kind of history, some kind of past. Not everybody lives a traumatic life, but it sounds like his had some trauma. Deal with that. Deal with that. Your partner can definitely be a support, but it's not her responsibility to constantly come and lick your wounds. My God. And every time he doesn't miss step, oh, when you know what I've been through. Shut up. Bella's gonna say it's time for her to look out for herself. I wish I believed it. Because not too long after this, she's gonna talk about, oh, but I still like him. Ooh. Try. On the way to the couple's retreat, Tori's car breaks down. Tori was the one driving. Mr. Passenger Princess was living in his full truth of being a passenger princess because when the car breaks down, this man makes no attempt to help.
Yeah, the engine's smoking. This isn't gonna make it. My poor car.
I did his best.
Pat, pat, pat. There. Such a turnoff.
I can confidently say no man in my life would ever do what Felipe just did. No man. Not my father, not my brother, not my other brother, and for damn sure not my husband. None of them. Even if they're incapable of fixing the damn car, they're gonna fake something. They're gonna try something. They'll be the one calling. They'll be the one outside trying to flag people down. Like, do something, John. Do anything. Instead, you're gonna rub my hand. Oh my God. Oh my God. So in her confessional, Tori is like, yeah, can I do these things on my own? I can. I'm quite independent, but I would like to not do them. I have a partner I want to be taken care of, and he doesn't seem to want to do that. You're supposed to be with somebody who makes life easy, okay? Instead, she's stuck with a liability. A liability she barely knows at that. Girl, make him kick rocks. Even with the car troubles, Tori and Felipe were able to make it to the retreat before Shawn and Nikki. I said, what the hell were y'all doing? They're always late to something, late to the party, late to this, late to that. But anyways, in the car, you know, Shawn ate this one little thing. He was also eating, but he also ate with a statement. He was like, with Michelle, I do think that there's some performance happening. I think that in past relationships, she would accept the bare minimum for the sake of saying she got a man. And I think that's also happening in this situation. Couldn't be more correct. I think there's a lot of backbending that Michelle is doing in order to coddle Cameron constantly. And he does that to, oh, you know, I'm this, I'm that. But Michelle comes in and she does, and Michelle comes and she sees me, and Michelle. And it's like, Michelle, what are your needs going to be met? How much bending are you going to do before you break? So Shawn, he ate with that. He surely did, okay? When they arrive at the retreat, he lets everybody know, listen, Nikki and I are doing great. However, I do have to leave because it's my mom's, 75th birthday or something like that. So don't get it mistaken, okay? We're doing well. I just have other obligations. Because it's your mama's birthday, fine. But, side eye. Anyways, he also pulls Adam aside and he's like, listen, I know that I came at you. I apologize. I didn't mean to trigger you like that. He did. He did. Adam is like, listen, I came at you too, so it is what it is. They let bygones be bygones and they keep it pushing. Then they all play a game. Who is most likely to? We have Felipe, who is most likely to hit on a waitress. Maybe both. I don't know. Felipe would most likely hook up in a public place. Mecca would most likely sabotage his relationship. Caitlyn is most likely to get the ick. Caitlyn would be down for a couple swap. Felipe would lie about his whereabouts. Felipe would put his foot in his mouth. And he is also the person who was never ready for marriage and would send nudes to the wrong person. Felipe then gives a speech and I'm thinking, wrong move.
I've always been a winner, regardless of, how much I'm put down. I'm the most likely winner.
I don't want to be a downer. He's almost enjoying being deemed a womanizer.
This is not a flex. I get he's trying to turn a negative into a positive, but the best way to do that would have been, I understand that you guys have this notion of me, and rightfully so. The evidence is not great. However, I really have been putting in the work to be a better person for myself and also for Tori. And I do believe that I'm able to get to a point where I could be the kind of man that she wants. I could be the kind of man that I'm proud of. I could be the man who is committed and all these things. So sure, that might be my reputation, but it's not a full description of who I am as a person. And I'm going to show you guys that. Was that so hard? Was that so hard? Instead you talk about, yeah, that's me. Yeah, that's me. What wife wants to hear their man boast about being a hoe? Who wants? No, this guy's actually dumb. Anyways, child, the girls go upstairs and they're talking about how the men struggle with foot and mouth disease. They're all saying it, by the way, but then the girls are like, oh, except Cameron. Cameron's a sweet baby angel. He's perfect. Michelle was the one because, sorry, I'm everywhere now. Belle was saying, I feel like my man struggles with this. No, she started with Felipe. I feel like Felipe struggles with this. And I think she was like, Michelle was like, I think that's a problem with all the guys though, including her man. But instead, people are like, no, but your man is perfect. She's like, yeah, he is perfect. Michelle, you're faking the funk, mama. Anyways, downstairs, the guys are talking about how Devon is saying Caitlyn hates the cameras and that's why she's really struggling with this process. Adam was like, she's like this even when the cameras aren't rolling.
I think this process is very overwhelming for her.
I just don't think that's like a great excuse. She was on her phone the entire time, just ignoring it. And we weren't being filmed at all. It just felt like she was doing anything possible to stay as disconnected.
Everyone else is noticing these things, but she just feels oblivious.
She hates him. Nothing else to say, guys. She don't like this man. She thinks he's hot. Love that for you. But somebody could be attractive and you cannot stand them, which seems to be the case here. Okay? Even with the Nikki and Shawn situation, obviously that lady has so many grievances with Shawn. But even she confided in herself to be some kind of affectionate with him. You despise him at this point. That's what it's giving. Devon then says he envies Marissa and Adam's relationship. Don't envy nobody in this process. Don't envy anyone. Don't envy anyone in general because you never know what the next person is putting up with in their relationship. But for damn sure, don't envy these relationships. We're back upstairs. Belle is telling the women what Mecca had said because he said it under his breath. Nobody else heard what he was saying. The girls are gobsmacked, as they should.
You're pretty, but are you pretty enough for me?
You fucking kidding us.
Why would you say that?
That's what I'm saying.
I talked to him about it last night, and he was just like, I wasn't thinking when I was talking. It's the same with you and Felipe. I still like Mecca. Like, I don't.
You said that. Speak your truth.
Yeah, I don't know where I'm at now.
Everyone understands that what Mecca said was out of line. Every single person is in agreement that he should not have said that. Mecca included. Belle included. But then Belle's going to turn around and say, but I still like him though. Hey! My sister, I have to drop you off. I have to drop you off. Like, we're leaving you by the roadside. Because what do you mean? What do you mean? It's funny because Mecca tried to call out Michelle when he was talking with the guys, and he was like, do you think that she's a bit performative? Devon was like, I know you're not talking the way that people were calling you out for being performative. And he said it in a joking way, but no, seriously. Because, let's break it down, right? You were out here talking about, yeah, she's dragging that wagon. And as soon as I saw her turn around, I was like, yeah, I want to take her down. I want to do all these things. But now you're talking about, oh, I was questioning if she was pretty enough for me. But you're not being performative. He's then asked, is Belle your dream girl? He says, nah. They say, do you have a racial preference? He's like, no, we know that to be true based on the TikToks. Which is fine. It is what it is. I'm just saying we know that to be true. Then they're asked, okay, well, what is your type? He says, a little bit thicker. To the point where he wouldn't be opposed to Belle getting some augmentations to achieve said thickness. Belle, this is the guy who you be caping for? Seriously? This is your man. What show was that? Steve Wilkos? This is your man? Okay. Okay. He says eventually he could get to the point where she's his dream girl. I can't be bothered, honestly. Felipe finally decides to go search for his wife because she's been MIA, but has he cared? No, he hasn't. Finally, he goes and finds her. Obviously, she's not happy, and she decides to speak to him like a 5-year-old because that's the language that he understands.
Let's say I were you and you were me. I did the things that you've done.
Tell me what you're upset about, please.
The entire night was about me being a hoe.
This is what other random people think.
It's not like you don't help that narrative.
Okay, then what did I say? Then what did I do? Explain. What did I do wrong?
I'm not gonna spoon feed you. We're adults.
You're the person that knows me the best. I'm over here taking it all when I didn't do a single fucking thing. Like, it's fucking ridiculous. Tori, you don't want to be with me. You want me to be someone else.
I was getting flashbacks to that guy from Love is Blind. I forget his name, the black guy who was throwing tantrums and all that kind of stuff. I was like, oh my God, this reminds me of that man.
I'm just always a fucking nice guy. Too fucking nice. Too fucking nice.
It was crazy to me how Felipe tried to put the thing down, flip it, and reverse it on Tori. And say, I'm doing the best I can. I'm doing the best I can with what I got. Clearly you don't want to be with me. What am I supposed to do? What did I do wrong? I did nothing wrong. And then he has this girl crying and saying, no, but I do want to be with you. I do want to. In the previous episode when they were talking about emotional manipulation, I personally did not think what he was doing was manipulating her. Regardless of him trying his best, it's just not good enough. And it is okay to say that. It's okay to acknowledge that somebody trying their best still doesn't measure up. And sure enough, Felipe just doesn't measure up for Tori. Point blank and the period. However, today, this was straight up manipulation. This was crazy. Had this girl boo-hoo crying, now trying to convince him that she's committed to him. I was like, what? Thankfully, she still has her wits about herself, and she's like, you know what? No, I don't want to be in this anymore. I'm done. I'm done. And thank God for that, honestly. And on your way out, make sure to cuss out them experts for putting you in this position to begin with. Because girl, what? You should have never, you're a Christian, you're with an atheist. You want a family? He's indifferent, really, about that. You want to live in the suburbs? He wants to stay in the city. You want marriage. The whole premise of this damn show. He wants to sleep with the hoes. Sorry, let me not call those ladies hoes. He wants to be a hoe and sleep with plenty of women. Anyways, Felipe goes down. He's sulking. The guys are like, oh, give him a second. Give him. I'm so glad they're over. I'm so glad they're over. Next, Caitlyn and Devon, because they need to call it quits too. Like, why are we forcing this? The only couples who I can see still trying to sort things out, I might not agree with their relationship, but I can see them still trying to sort things out. Shawn and Nikki, Cameron and Michelle, Adam and Marissa. I'm hesitating on Belle and Mecca because honestly, that man just pisses me right off. So a possible. Them is a possible. Everybody else, go home. Truly. It's enough. Okay? That's all for me today. As always, like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.